Yo, what's up guys? How are you all? I am your shield. Welcome back to new video on my channel. Today we are back with a new guide of Whiteout survival. In today's video we are talking on a very important topic, that is state transfer. I have made a video on the state transfer almost 1 year ago and lot of things are changed. So I think I should make a updated video on the state transfer. State transfer is not exactly any event. It is some activity. I cannot call it event because it has no schedule. It can come anytime. State transfer and state merger both are some similar activity. They are not proper events. Okay. So in today's video we are checking what is this state transfer, what we should do here. Okay. Let's jump in our video. If you go to event tab, here you can see the state transfer and you can also check in which date it is starting, in which date it is ending. Remember, it is for 7 days. In first day there are some pre-transfer work in first 2 days. Then in second 2 days there are some transfer activity starting, and last 3 days you can free transfer. I mean free for all, first come first serve. There are actually 3 phase here. So in the first phase that is some pre-transfer. Second phase you can actually transfer with some invite or with invite mainly, and third phase is free for all. Okay, so let's see how you can actually transfer. To transfer any state you need a ticket that is called the transfer. Here you can see this thing, transfer pass. Now if you are free to play, you can get this transfer pass from only one source, that is the Alliance shop. Go to the Alliance shop weekly section. Here you can see the transfer pass. The cost is pretty much high, but still it is something good we can get from here. And we can also get this thing free when some updates come. Like sometimes we can get 2 or 3 free transfer pass in some updates. And if you are pay to win, you need to purchase the pack. I am not going there. For free to play you can get from here. Now it is a currency to change our server, right? But it depends on a lot of things, how much currency we need, how much cost we need. If you click on this thing, you can see transfer cost and some transfer rating. That depends on the game. I mean, you cannot calculate this thing yourself. It is determined by a lot of things like your power, your chief gear, charm, lot of things. You can never calculate yourself how much transfer pass you need. No one can calculate, no one can tell you. You can just have some guess. The game will calculate for you and game will tell you what you actually need. Now we are going to here. Look at the bottom side of my screen. You can see the state list. We are going here. Here you can see I can have some states in the list, and not all states are coming. It is starting from 14. It is ending at, you see here. Now you can ask me a question why I cannot see all state. Because there is some limits. You cannot go to any state of your choice. There are some group. Each group has some state. You can transfer only inside your group. If you go here in the system mailbox, remember before the state transfer comes, game will send you a mail about the group. So we go here and you can see there are the list of the group. Like the group 1 has this much state. Group 2, I am currently in group 2 right now. That means I can go to any state between this 14 and 115. If I want to go, suppose I say if I want to go state 600, I can never go to that state because that is coming in a different group. People in a same group, they can transfer to that state. Okay, so suppose I'm giving you one example. Let's say about group 11, and if you are in 1750, if you are in 1750 server, you can see you can never go like 1752, that is going in different group. You can go to between this one, you can see here. Okay, so keep this thing in your mind. Now we will check about some basics criteria about changing our server. Go to state list, click on any server, you can check the criteria. They are very simple guys. No city battle underway, very simple. No alliance. Okay, we can fulfill this thing. This one is very important, transfer power. Okay, I will talk this thing later. Next one, furnace 30, very simple. Not any important role. You are not getting anything of them. Okay, and fewer than 4 character in a targeted state. That means if you have already 4 character in that state, you cannot send any more character there. and over 25 days since the last transfer. So between each transfer there is some cooldown. Like I'm giving you simple example. Suppose I am in what is the my current date, 686. Suppose I am in 686. So I'm in the date number, the day number. So you'll blast this thing with 25. That means here goes 1, here goes 1, here goes 1. It is 711, right? So again I can transfer from 712 days. That is the simple thing about some cooldown. Now let's talk about this transfer power cap. That is the main thing for our transfer. There are two type of state. If you go here in the list, you will see some ordinary states, some leading state. Ordinary states are like some simple state with some simple players. Leading states are pretty much powerful, and leading state have like top 100 players who are very much powerful. And there's difference between ordinary state and leading state. Leading state always has some less number of capacity. The transfer capacity, invite capacity, everything in less number. Even the power capacity is also very less for the leading state. But for ordinary state, it is always higher. And there is one thing there is something called special transfer invite. Now, what is this special transfer invite? Let me explain you. What I just told you, there is some power cap. You have to fulfill that criteria. Suppose I'm going here. So if I want to go to this server, my power should be below this thing, equal to or below this 380 million. If my power is like what I say 700 million, I can never go to this state normally. Okay, in that case I have to do something that is called the special transfer. So whenever your power is going above the power barrier, then you can go with the special transfer. The president can invite you with the special invite, or you can request for a special transfer. Now keep this thing in your mind. You can never use the special transfer for any leading state. Look, you can already see here, special transfer not available for leading state. So let me show you again with some normal state. So again you can see transfer power cap is 140 million. Okay, so if I want to go to this server, I cannot go because my power is higher. In that case I can use the special transfer, and it will be available from the transfer phase 2, because I told you there are 3 phases in the state transfer. Every ordinary state they can have maximum 3 special transfer, and it recharges itself in the starting of every month. Okay, and there is something, it is very simple. You can see transfer cap and ordinary transfer invite cap. That means how many times president can invite. Okay, president actually invite for this state transfer, and it starts from the 2nd phase. The 3rd phase I told you free for all. I mean first come first serve. Anyone can go anywhere in the 3rd phase, and one president can send unlimited invites. Okay, unlimited invites, but only 35 of them can be accepted. I mean any 35 of them can be accepted, others will not be working. And I just told you, you can see here the transfer cap and the ordinary transfer invite cap is always lesser in the leading state and always higher in the ordinary state. The reason is, if this thing is equal in every server, the problem is many top player will go to any leading state, and that leading state will start winning every event, and there will be some disbalance in the game. To prevent this thing, the cap is always lower for the leading state. And one thing, the transfer power cap cannot be changed for the leading state. I mean president can do this thing. President can increase, decrease, whatever he can do for the ordinary state. Okay, this thing can be done in the 1st phase of the state transfer, but leading state president cannot do anything. I mean leading state presidents, they are like pretty much useless. They cannot change the transfer power cap, they cannot do some special invite, they can only send some ordinary transfer invite. Now let me tell you what you should do if you are normal player or if you are president. So first, if you are normal player, in the first 2 days you can just check every server. You can just go in the list. You can see yourself what is going with you, your language and your what your people. You can check this thing yourself. Then you can also check their alliance, what alliance they belong to. Then you can talk with their president, you can talk with their player, you can check their server map. It is very simple. Go to Vault, and here you can check the server map if you want, on which server you want to see. Then you can decide which server you have to go. That is your work in the first phase. I mean, in first phase as a player, you cannot do anything. You can just do some research. You can talk with some people. You can decide where you should go. The main thing starts on the second phase. In the second phase, you can talk with the president and request for some invite or special invite. Or if you are planning to go to some state where the power cap is lower, I mean your power is higher than the power cap, then you can request for the special transfer in the second phase. Look, I can click here. Okay, I cannot do anything here. Let me give you another example. Look at this thing. I can request for special transfer pass from the second phase. Okay, and as a player, as a normal player, from the third phase I can go to anywhere. I mean, you don't need anything, you don't need any request or anything. If you see there is some capacity in that state, just click on the transfer, you will go to that state. But it is available only in the third phase. That is first come first serve. If the state is already full, there is no vacancy, you cannot go to that state. Now what you should do as a president in the event? In the first phase, you can just, I told you, set the power up, down if you are normal president. And if you are from leading state president, then you cannot set your power cap. It is like fixed for everyone. And in the second phase, as a president, you can send invite, you can talk with people, you can check the list who is requesting for special transfer or not. You can check that thing yourself. And in the third phase, as a president, you have nothing to do. Now let me tell you something. If you are in such a state there is no president, you know what? If you lose the SVS battle phase, if there is invader, that means there is no president in that server. That server is occupied by other state supreme president. In that case, the previous president who was there, he will be the acting president for this event. And if you are thinking as a president you can change your server, there is a new update. You can transfer your presidency to some person in your alliance. I mean, this update is actually new. In previous day, we could not do this thing. As a president, we could never change our state. But now we can do this thing. We can transfer our presidentship to some other person in the same alliance. Then we can go to other server. That is all simple basic rule about the state transfer event. I told you transfer cap, ordinary cap, special invite, then the power barrier. I told you everything. I told you all the criteria. In the old video, you remember, I told the criteria about the injured or the like enlistment troops. But nowadays, there is no such a condition. You can clearly see here because that thing is removed and that thing is adjusted with our transfer cost. Previously, we could not do this thing if you watch my old video. But now we can go to other server even if we have some enlistment office. Now, let me tell you something what you should do in this state transfer. Look, I have seen two type of players. If you are planning to win every SBS, if you are planning to win every alliance event, then try to join such an alliance which is very active. Or try to enter some leading state if you want to win every event, or any normal ordinary state with some bigger players. You can do that. That is some strategy you can use. There is another strategy some players use. You can go to some inactive server. There is almost no player. Inactive server means like only some alliance left in that server. Why? Because you know, in the festival type events, you can easily get top leaderboard. You can easily get big rewards. You can get some city skin. You have chance. If you are in an inactive server, there is no competition. If you are looking for any free city skin from some festival event, then you can go to some inactive server. But the problem, I mean, both have something good, something bad. If you are going to active state, then you can win lot of events, but you cannot get some good leaderboard in the event. If you are going to inactive state, then you cannot win every event like alliance event, but you can get some city skin in the inactive states. Now, how to find out which state is active, which state is inactive? You can do one thing. You can go to Discord of the official Whiteout survival. You can talk with people. You can try to understand which state is active, which state is inactive. You can also go to the server map of the state, and you can check the buildings. Then you can understand if the state is active or inactive. There is one more way to understand if the state is active or inactive. You have to wait for the third phase of the state transfer, and when the third phase comes, just click on any list, any server from the list. If you see, even if the third phase there is a lot of capacity in that state, if there is a lot of vacancy, that means the state is inactive. No one is going to that state, everyone is leaving that state. Okay, but if you see the state in the third phase, that state has very less number of vacancy, that means it is some active state. A lot of people joining that state. So if you really want to understand active or inactive state, you have to wait for the third phase. And in the third phase, just look at the transfer cap. You can understand if the state is active or inactive. And I told you what good thing you can get, what bad thing you can get in the active state and inactive state. So in the first phase of the event, it is your duty to talk with every state president. Try to understand what type of players are there, what language players are there, if the state is active or inactive. In the second phase, you can get some invite, you can request for some special transfer, and you can go to that server in that second phase. And in the third phase, it is free for all. No need any free for all does not mean free of cost. You still need the transfer bus. Free for all means you can go anywhere of your choice. And if you go to any state, you will go to any place of the map, and you will stay there with some 24 hours protection. So don't worry, you will stay there safe for next 24 hours, and all the group chat will be deleted. You have to join the new alliance, you have to get some new group chat. And if you are thinking what will happen if any events is ongoing, don't worry, your item will not be lost. Okay, if you are playing the Frosty Fortune, if you have some Thorn of Erigma, it can be lost. But other items in other events, they cannot be lost. If you change your server, they will be safe. Don't worry about that thing. The only problem you can face, if you have a lot of unprotected resource, that can be lost after the state transfer. So be careful with that. Try to keep most of the resource protected, then try to change your state. In this video, I cannot tell you the transfer cost because no one can tell you this thing. The transfer cost depends on a lot of things. The game calculates this thing for you. In this video, I discussed something about the state transfer. I made a video almost 1 year ago, so I made a new updated video with some new things, and you can see what is the change in the new update. You can already see this thing. If you still have some doubt, if you still have some problem, if you have any question, you can ask me in the comment. That is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.